And we need to create it in our own lives, because otherwise we can forget. We can forget our connection. And there's nothing in our world that reminds us very often of it. Yesterday, no, maybe it was the day before, Bob and I were driving back from Monterey late at night with all of our stuff from our offices. So we had a long time to listen to the radio. And we listened to a story, I think it was a Christian channel, and a young man was sharing his story, and it was so interesting because he grew up in a very material world. Both of his parents were atheist, although one had a Jewish heritage and one had a Christian heritage. And they divorced when he was only 3. And to get back at each other, the father would send him to a Catholic school, and then when the mother had him, she'd send him to a Jewish school, and they were trying to get back at the parents. So he had a lot of background in religion, but none in spirituality, and and none of the religion stuck. And the father became a very successful millionaire, and the mother became a very successful woman as well in New York City. Father was in Miami, mother was in New York City. And the mother was a very successful songwriter and film critic. And so he grew up with a lot of getting to meet a lot of famous, successful people. His mother introduced him to Elvis Presley, for whom she had written 3 songs, and a number of things like that. And he noticed that none of them seemed very happy. And he knew his mother wasn't happy, and he knew his father wasn't happy, with all those trappings, all the wealth. His father created an airline company. And, he just noticed that nobody seemed very happy. As a matter of fact, his mother was suicidal at times. He was suicidal. He almost overdosed and killed himself a number of times. He ended up acting out a lot, stealing, getting in trouble, quitting school. His life was like a horror story. And about the age of 16, when he had totally dropped out and was living in a cave, and was seeking to find God, he had decided there was a God because he kept getting retribution for his stealing. One of his friends found out he was stealing, and he said, "Are you going to turn me in?" He said, "No, I don't have to turn you in. The law of karma will take care of you." And he started noticing that when he would steal something would be stolen from him, and sometimes it was the exact amount of money, and so he decided there was a God. So in his seeking, he finally did get this sense of connection. He finally did get, and it brought all the sweetness of life to him that was missing with the materialistic. One time his mom called him and said she was suicidal, and he said, you can do a lot of things in a hurry, but you don't have to hurry up to kill yourself. So, why don't you give this some time and think about it? She told him later that saved her life. So this is what this young man was dealing with, and it is such a relief. It is such a relief when you realize that's not all there is. That there is this meaning in life. Suddenly you have meaning when you know that there is a God, that you are connected, that you are important, that your life has meaning. And it is so, so important. All the money in the world, all the relationships in the world can't give you that. So the old endings are kind of what we have when we repeat these patterns with monotonous regularity, when we don't know that we're connected. How many of you have had a pattern of relationships not going well? And you don't have to raise your hand.